Here we are. I have no idea where that... Ooh, shit, that was close! Turn ourselves towards the planet. Apparently, I have no idea... Oh... Hello YouTube, welcome back to ThrustVector Gaming and today's episode of Kerbal Space Program. Here at TVG Space Agency, we're gonna start where we left off in the last episode, and that was deploying a couple of satellites. In the last episode, I built the satellite that we're gonna use here in our 770 kilometer orbit. Around the planet here, and we actually got it up there, so we can actually take a look at that first. We're gonna leave the VAB for a moment here, a brief little moment, and we're gonna take a look in the tracking station here. So here we have it up there, the LEO for Low Earth Orbit. Actually, it is a Low Kerbin Orbit, so I'm actually gonna take and rename that one. I think we have to go into fly mode here to do that. If you know any better way to rename the vessels without having to do this step here, please let me know in the comments below. But we're gonna go to the Stay Putnik here, rename vessel, and name it a Low Kerbin Orbit. Comsat 1. Accept, and there we have it. It is in a, as we said, 770k orbit around the Kerbin, approximately. Anyway, I'm gonna take a look at the charge here. We have 2010 electric charge and 250 motor propellant, so that's really good actually. Well, enough about that. We're going back to the tracking station and back to... Gonna go into the VAB here. Leave the facility. And we're gonna go into the VAB, Vehicle Assembly Building. In here, we're gonna, I think our, here, Leo Comsat is actually down to the, we have it auto-saved here. I also have this part here saved as well. As a separate, that is actually the Leo Comsat. If we're going to open here, we should have, let's see here, here, Leo Comsat, there it is. Should probably rename it in the future. I'm going to do that off camera, but for this one we name it Low Kerbin Orbit Comsat, like that. Yeah, we name it like that for now, and then we're gonna rename it to Comsat 2 probably later on. My initial thought here was to launch this and rendezvous with Comsat 1 during launch, but I've put that idea a little bit on the shelf, so to say. I'm not going to do that, so we're going to take this one out onto the launch pad directly here. We're just going to take a look at the crew. Yes, we have Jebediah and Bill here. Actually going to go with the other pilot here as well, Valentina Kerman. We need 2 of these if Jebediah for some reason would faint out or something. We're going to have 2 pilots in the lander can here. That's going to make sure that, well, this part down is coming back home safely. So we're gonna go to the launch pad and prepare for ascent. And here we are on the launch pad, and as I said earlier, my initial thought was to wait for the Comsat 1 to get about somewhere here, and then launch up to it directly, match speeds with it, and have the Comsat 2 parked alongside the Comsat 1, at least initially here. But we're not going to do that for this one. We are gonna quickly and swiftly get ourselves into a lower orbit here. I'm thinking about 500 kilometers or something like that. So we are gonna change this to a 500 kilometer orbit. Gonna leave the limit acceleration to 17. And yeah, everything here is just, we're gonna leave it as it is. Going back out here, we have the standard launch here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and engage the autopilot. We're gonna launch up into space here, and to make this video a bit more interesting without me just launching a lot of stuff into the air here, I'm gonna quickly just launch and cut to the step where we do the circularization burn. And here we are, turning ourselves towards the maneuver node after our initial burn is complete here. And soon MechJeb will auto warp around to the current apoapsis, which is at 500 kilometers that is. And then we're gonna do this small burn here to circularize our orbit. And yeah, that is our first thing here. So let's see, we're coming around here. We are 3 minutes out, 1 minute out, a couple of seconds out here now, and then we will do this 247 meters per second burn to circularize our orbit. We'll look here at the nav ball. Turn ourselves around and we can see the periapses are rising here. Slowly but steady. And there we have it soon. There it is, 500 kilometers and 100 meters, and this one is at 499 kilometers and 800 meters, so it's almost a circular orbit here. Right now we don't have any contact with the mission control here, so we can't really send any commands to MechJeb or anything. This is a little bit weird, at least I think. If you have given the MechJeb some instructions when you have a functional link, you can let, I guess because of the local control of Jeb and Valentina here, you can execute such a thing. But I believe anyway that without them here you can't really do it. We're gonna try here and plan a maneuver to circularize our burn. I'm actually gonna do a quick save here just for the sake of this video here, so we can revert back if this theory that I have actually is what I think it is. So we're gonna do a home and transfer to target. We're gonna select our LKO ComSat here, our Low Kerbin Orbit satellite, set that as a target, and then we're gonna create and execute the node, and we're gonna see what happens here. Create and execute makes a maneuver node, but what happens? From what I can see, we have our auto warp and everything. We are turning, so maybe it does work. Maybe I was wrong there. Maybe because of the local control these things work anyway, but if it had been a completely unmanned vessel, we would have been we would need to use the flight planner really, and we can only send instructions to the flight planner when we have a local connection, like now, for instance, as you can see here. But yeah, I was wrong. You can actually use all MechJeb stuff here without having a connection, as long as you have local control then. So good to know for future missions. This looks good. We are coming up here. We're gonna try to see where the sun is. It seems to be... where is the sun? Hello? There is the sun. So we're actually gonna turn this one a bit here. Like, let's see, like so. Stop. Something like that. And point towards prograde. Well, at least for now. Like so. And then we're gonna time accelerate here. Nearest approach is what? Let's see here. Separation 2.5 kilometers. Not the best approach. Not at all, really. But I'm gonna say it'll have to do. So I'm gonna switch this one into target mode, and we're gonna... let's see here. I'm gonna think a bit of what we should do. We should think we should aim for target. I'm not completely sure at the moment, but yeah, we'll see. Actually, we are not gonna point towards the target. We're actually gonna point retrograde on the target. But we're gonna time warp and our way out to where we're gonna intersect with each other. Somewhere over here. We're coming in close. This, it's said 2.5 kilometers at nearest approach. So we're gonna take a look. It's over there. We're gonna take the target mode, turn ourselves a retrograde on the target. So the target is coming in hotter than we are, and that means we have to thrust to actually, get ourselves up to speed with it, really. So about now is the point where I'm gonna start to thrust and really take out as much speed as possible here. Maybe down to 10 meters a second or something. Actually, no, I'm just gonna thrust all the way to 0, like so. Then we're gonna point towards the target. This is a long and tedious process. It's a heavy rocket, this one, but I think we're gonna do it like this anyway. It's easier when we have everything connected than have to disconnect the satellite and so on beforehand. We're gonna get this one up to about, I believe, 30 meters per second or something like that. I think that is a good target. And we're gonna turn retrograde once more. And when we are completely turned here, I'm gonna do a bit of a time warp until I see the retrograde marker and the target marker here, or the anti-target marker, starting to separate from each other. Then I'm gonna use a little bit of a technique to get them closer together. They're still pretty tight to each other. I'm gonna start to thrust a bit here, get ourselves down to maybe 10 or so, 8 meters per second. Now we're gonna go into stability assist and turn ourselves away from the retrograde marker. And when we thrust now, you can see that it is being pushed towards the target marker here. So now we need to go down a bit, and down a bit more like this. We are at 4.5 meters per second and closing. we're coming in. I'm actually gonna go into retrograde here. I think we will be close enough for this to actually work. We're coming in pretty much straight on it, maybe on top of it, but close enough, so to say. I like to think that we're close enough. We're not gonna dock with the ComSat one. We're just gonna park this one, this satellite here, for the time being. So adding a bit of more thrust here, getting ourselves down into speed. Gonna cut the throttle here when we hit 0. Throttle a bit more and cut. Actually, that was a bit too much, but for the moment I don't care. We're gonna zoom in here and decouple. Like so. This one is decoupled from the rest of it. The mission control is for the moment here, so we have to wait a whole orbit before we can do anything about it. So what I'm gonna do is switch over to this vessel here, and we're gonna point ourselves, let's see, I think I have to point myself up a bit here. I don't think that parts are affected by thrust. If I were to point this one directly down on the satellite, we would fling it away. I don't think those game mechanics are implemented, but I'm gonna be on the safe side here. So thrust our way up like this. We get on top, then we're gonna switch into, oh, we were actually already in orbit mode. Point ourselves, retrograde. Jebediah and Valentina gonna take us down to the surface once more. Gonna wait for that to happen. Let's see here, we're pointing retrograde. And thrust away. Gonna keep an eye at the periapsis height until it reaches somewhere in the realms of 35 to 40 kilometers. And that's when we're getting down to the planet. So lowering our thrust here, something like that, 36 kilometers. And I'm gonna cut this part out. I'm just gonna land this and we'll be ready for our next liftoff here in a couple of minutes. We're gonna first visit the tracking station though. Back down on planet Kerbin here in the tracking station. We can see that we have our ComSats up here in a perfect orbit. And where are we? We are here in the mission control. We're gonna do a bit of time warping here actually and see what comes first. Does the satellites come round so that we have the ability to start doing some maneuvers, or will we be able to launch our third and last satellite here? That will definitely be good to watch. I think, yeah, we have contact now with both satellites, and dawn hasn't really struck yet here. So I'm gonna go back to the last satellite that we deployed here, the ComSat 1 or the ComSat 2. We're gonna rename it the ComSat 2. Press fly and let's take a look. I think we have drifted apart from the ComSat 1 a bit, yes, 1.7 kilometers away, but we have it as the target. So I'm gonna point towards the target. Let's see, reaction wheels, please. Can we work? This one should have a reaction wheel in it. I am 100% sure that this one would have a reaction wheel in it. If not, I have made a huge screw up here. It doesn't seem that I have a reaction wheel. on any of these satellites. So yeah, I have to kind of resort to some type of magic here to get that fixed. Either I have to relaunch these satellites off camera here, or I'll have to do some save file magic. I don't know which one I'll have to do, but something is necessary. So I'm gonna make another shortcut here, and we will be back in just a second here. And we are back again. Shortly after I cut there, I got to the conclusion that I don't really need to do anything here. It would be nice to have reaction wheels on here, but on the other hand, it would be a bit of a cheating as well. So I'm actually going to use the RCS thrusters here. As you can see, if I turn on SAS here and the RCS, we can do really do some type of changes here. So yeah, I'm gonna use the reaction wheels here for all type of maneuvering. We might have to be a bit more conservative with velocity changes and everything, but I think it's gonna be work out here. I'm gonna activate these engines, so I'm gonna stage. These are the these ones here, the puff engines. And we're going to use it to get ourselves closer to ComSat 1 here. So aligning ourselves with the target, RCS there, and throttling up. We are going to get ourselves into maybe, I don't know, 10, 20 something meters per second here. Something like that, yes. And we are pretty stable here, coming in at a good speed. We're going to turn ourselves retrograde. The RCS is going to help us with that. Like that, and we are pointing retrograde here, and we can start to thrust our way once more, getting our speed down. Gonna try the trick here, trying to move myself if possible onto the side here, and then thrust a bit more here, trying to get ourselves more aligned with the target while breaking down the speed, and cut. Turning retrograde once more. And hopefully this will work out pretty good here. We're coming in at 6.8 meters per second. I'm not gonna go, I mean, if I'm within 100 meters or so, that will have to do. Gonna take a look at the map here. We will have satellite communication for a long time here, so no problems with that really. Still coming in here. I'm gonna disable RCS for a brief moment here, try to save a couple of a little bit of monopropellant. I mean, we have plenty, but yeah, 300 meters, almost there. Gonna do a bit of a time warp, and we're coming up 100 meters. Turn ourselves retrograde here. And we're still in retrograde actually, so we're just gonna start the RCS thrusters again and thrust away, kill our velocity completely here. Hopefully, let's see, we're down to 3.3, 2, 1, and 0. I think that have to do actually. Disable the RCS once again. And we're gonna see here. We have a link communication with mission control. So what I'm gonna do is take the maneuver planner, and I want to do the resonant orbit here. So I want to put ourselves in a orbit that has a orbital period 2/3 of the current orbit period. That will put us, when we come back around to this exact location, we will actually be about 60 degrees in front of the ComSat 1. And that also reminds me that I'm actually gonna change the name on this here vessel, rename vessel to LKO ComSat 2, and we're gonna take the icon here, the relay icon, like so. Then we're gonna create the node, and not create and just execute. I think we can do it in this case, but you will see in a minute what will happen there, because or I can actually tell you. We're executing this now, but when we come around here for our other go at it, mission control will no longer be at that position. Mission control will probably be somewhere over here, and we won't have a contact with mission control. So for this maneuver, we could have gone with create and execute, but what we're gonna do is really actually, that happened to be as next apoapsis. That is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it directly here and now. So we're gonna redo that plan maneuver, and I'm gonna do that at a fixed time, which is, I don't know, 20 seconds from now. Or we're gonna go with 60 seconds from now. And create the node. The node is created, and as you can see here, we have a periapsis of 120 kilometers there, as we are up here in the 770 kilometers. What I'm gonna do next now is that I'm gonna take this and execute this maneuver in the flight computer. That will in return make it possible for us to do maneuvers without actually, for the moment, having, I mean, we need to press this button here, execute. We need to, so it was complaining about something. Signal delay is too high to execute this maneuver at the proper time. I'm gonna redo that maneuver node once more then. I think we might have paused it. I've been talking too much and not paying attention to what's happening here, so I'm gonna create it like 2 or 3 minutes ahead of time here, maybe 5 minutes. So 5 minutes, that is 300 seconds from now. Create that maneuver node. Now it's over there, which is good. Could of course do it at periaps as well, but I've chosen to do it at this point here. It doesn't really matter, I don't believe it really matter. Now we can go here and press execute, and yes, we have created some maneuver nodes that it will execute in 45 seconds from now. It will hold maneuver prograde. It will try to do it anyway. I might have to actually enable RCS for that to be done. I guess that. So I'm actually gonna enable RCS here and now. It doesn't seem like I can do it. Okay, there we go. RCS is enabled. We have 15 seconds until this hold maneuver prograde will get going, and I think actually Kerbal alarm clock here will kick in as well and tell me that, oh, it's time for you to look at this ship. But since we're already here, yeah, here you see. And delete on close, yes. So this is outlooks. Warp to maneuver node, warp to sphere of influence. I don't know where that came from, but we're gonna leave it there for now. We are plus 2 days already. I don't know what this really is or where they come from. We are holding the maneuver node here. We're actually gonna go out of target mode. We're just gonna go into orbit, and we can actually time accelerate here. And when we are getting up on this time here, as you can see, it slows down. Slows down the time acceleration and starts to do the desired burn. And something happened, I have no idea what. So I'm gonna load back to where we started and see if I can do anything about this again. So keep with me for a moment here and I'm gonna try to see what happened. Okay, here we are, and I have actually no idea what happened. I decided to change my strategy a bit, so my new attempt at this went to be a 5/6 of the ComSat 1's orbit here. So I actually, with ComSat 2 here, have to do two turns around the planet Kerbin before we can circularize again into the complete 770k orbit and have ourselves positioned 60 degrees ahead of ComSat 1. But we're gonna start to do that, and let's see here. We're gonna time warp. And we have 1 revolution there, and when we come up here for the second revolution, we're gonna wait for contact with mission control. There we have it. And now comes the beauty of flight computer here, because when we made the change into this orbit here with 456k periapsis, we had communication with the mission control at all times. Now when we're doing the circularization burn here, I'm not so sure we will have contact with the mission control. So therefore we're gonna go into here, circularize at the next apoapsis. Yes, that is much true. We're gonna create that node, and now we're gonna go into the flight computer and press execute. I have no idea why the maneuver node is flicking back and forth like that. Hopefully it won't affect us. This is really weird. Because we are in target mode and we shouldn't be. We should be in orbit mode here still. So I don't know why we have this target selected. I'm actually gonna go in here, vessel orbit, rendezvous. Can't really do it from here. Let's see. Where is ComSat 1? It is over there. And unset target. I don't want anything to do with it for the moment here. So time warping a bit here. And we will get out of time warp automatically when we get up upon this this minutes here. Let's see, where are we? We are here. Gonna continue to time warp a bit, getting our speeds down. And soon we will get out of time warp. As you can see, time warp is slowing down, and that is not me doing it. It is done automatically. Hopefully this will work now. We have a 2-minute time set here, which we will wait for, and then the burn will come. And take a look, so that we are completely on target here. Hopefully we are. Very much looks like we are on target. So I'm gonna do a little bit of time acceleration until we get up on about 30 seconds in on the the planned maneuver. Gonna see slowing down a bit now. And there's 30 slowing down. We're down to 25 here now. So just waiting for that time to hit, and then we will start to accelerate back those 107 meters per second that we initially took off of it. And as we can see, we are, well, I should say that's about 60 degrees in between them, so we are burning here, coming up on the final speed here, which will leave us in the 770 K orbit, but now we are 60 degrees ahead on the of this orbital period here. Coming up here on 770. Ooh, this is a perfect one. 7696 and 7693. So that is a really perfect orbit there. Gonna disable RCS, I believe. See if it can stabilize itself a bit better here. Yeah, it seems like that. So disable RCS. Can I disable it? No, I cannot disable it, of course, because I don't have a connection to the mission control at the moment. So it is because of the weird thing here. We are wobbling back and forth with the RCS. That's why the orbit is going a bit wonky here. But I think if we time accelerate, yes, that will stop. We can time accelerate ourselves around until the point where we get connection, which is there. And now we can disable RCS. Yes, we can do that. And we're gonna check here the name. Yes, we renamed it ComSat2, so that is all good. What we should do now is take one of our satellites here and set the target for ComSat1. And then we should go into the map here. I'm gonna click on ComSat1 and switch to... Oh, I actually forgot to do one thing there. We're gonna fix that in just a moment here. I take this satellite, choose target. Oh, I can't choose target because, you know what? No communication. So we're backing out again, choosing the ComSat2 once more. Switch to, and the one we had here was, what was it? It's ComSat2, yes. Find the right satellite. Here it is. Activate. It will fold out, and as you can see, we have now this sort of cone here saying that we are beaming signals in that direction. So if we switch to the ComSat1, I believe actually that one of our omnidirectional antennas here will pick up on a signal, will it not? Apparently not. They might be a little bit too weak to actually picking up that signal. And that's a shame, because we have, as you can see here, a free line of sight. So what we have to do is just time warp ourselves around here till we get into contact with ComSat, or with mission control, I should say. And now we can deploy, set ComSat2 as a target and activate that antenna, folding it out like that. And look at that, we have connection in between both here. You can't really see it on this screen here, but I'm going to show you in the tracking station in a moment. So let's get over there. And here we are in the tracking station, and I'm gonna go down here to this icon and click it until we have all of these light up, got white light on them here, and now we can see all connections that we have. So we have one from mission control to ComSat1, and then another link from ComSat 1 to ComSat 2. ComSat 2 is currently out of range from mission control, but if we had this in a little bit different orientation here, with ComSat 1 a little bit back here and ComSat 2 back here, we might have just a little triangle here where mission control actually has communication with all 3 satellites. It's time for us to launch the 3rd satellite, and that we want to do in broad daylight here to be able to see as much as possible. So we're going to take a look here at mission control. We're going to actually see if we can get the thing I was speaking of here, where we have a link for both satellites to mission control at the same time, as they also have, yeah, there we have it. So both satellites are actually now connected to mission control, and they have a link in between each other as well. So with this type of overlapping technique, we will always have full signal in this triangle that we're going to build here. I'm going to add the last satellite up in this realms here. So let's get over to the VAB after I've placed mission control here in broad daylight morning. And here we are in the VAB. We're gonna take up the auto-saved ship that we have here, and I'm actually gonna make it a little bit easier for this guy here. I'm gonna separate everything and go into commands and controls. We're gonna take a small inline reaction wheel, stick it in there and on top like that, just to make the life a little bit easier for this little satellite here. I might mod the other satellites off camera, I don't know. Went pretty well, I would like to say, with the RCS as well, but a little bit more complicated. So this one is ready for launch, and we're gonna do it directly here. We have good, nice weather, hopefully. The sun has just risen above the horizon, and we are ready to launch ourselves into our initial 500-kilometer orbit. And then we're gonna rendezvous with the ComSat 1, and then we're gonna do another procedure where we're actually gonna lift our apoapsis a bit higher to slow ourselves down and get into the 60 degrees behind ComSat 1 position. So as I said, we're gonna lift ourselves up into maybe 500. I'm actually gonna take a look at the map here. ComSat 1 is there, and if we lift ourselves up, we need to really go pretty low on this one, I should say. To get ourselves near as near as possible, I'm still gonna go with the 500 kilometers here actually. Like that, engage autopilot and launch ourselves into space. And as previously, I will cut this part out here, and I'll come back when we are in a circularized 500-kilometer orbit around Kerbin. Oh damn, look at that sun there. It is a solar eclipse. That's just... oh my god. I mean, the textures on land and everything, there's probably packs for that as well, but the lighting in this mod pack here or the game, I'm not sure which it is, but I have to say this is just astonishing. I had to do a relaunch here. I forgot Jeb and Valentina, so that's well, because you saw 2 clips there, that's why. But I just saw this on the way up now, the solar eclipse here. It is just magnificent. And since we're going up here, I think we might be able to actually see a total solar eclipse here in just a minute, hopefully anyway. maybe it is that, yeah. Actually, the Mun is going in this direction, if I'm not mistaken, so might not see just a total eclipse. If I get a total eclipse, I get back here, else I meet you at 500k. And yeah, we're coming up here on the outer warp, so this is as much as a total eclipse that we will get, I believe. But yeah, that is really cool. That is not something that you see every day here in Kerbal Space Program. So soon we're gonna do the outer warp here. Jeb and Valentina will take care of the circularization process here. And we will be set in our 500k orbit here. Take a look back at the sun. Yes, the Mun has escaped. You can see it there. As we're coming up on our 500k mark here, and we're gonna do the circularization burn. There we go. And burning to circularization. Periapse is slowly rising here, or actually quite rapid. And we're coming up on the 500 mark here now. We have communication with the LKO Comsat 2 via the, I think that has to be via one of these puppies, the Communitron 16S, I believe the name is, right? Yeah, 16S. But we don't have mission control in sight for the moment. This is Comsat 2, Comsat 1, and we want to rendezvous with Comsat 1 for this one, so I'm gonna do some time warping here. Making our way around, and now we have communication with the mission control. And because we have that, we can go into MechJeb into the maneuver planner and make a home and transfer to target. We're gonna select the Comsat 1 as our target for this one. Misclick there. Actually switched to Comsat 1. That is not what I wanted to do. So back out here again. Click on this one and switch back. And while we're here, we could really rename it, I think. No, we're not going to do that. Actually, we're going to leave it as it is for now. Gonna select Comsat 1, set as target, yes please, and then we're gonna create this node. Now it's just a matter of going into the flight computer and taking this forth here so we can see what's gonna happen. We're gonna press execute, and that is something that's gonna happen in 2 hours and 40 minutes from now. And that is, I think that's like 2 orbits away or something like that. So we're gonna speed things up here. Or maybe it's not, I'm not sure. I'm gonna see, we're coming around here 1 hour. Yes, we really need to go another full turnaround here. And now we're coming in here, slowing ourselves down for the alignment with the maneuver node. And we close that alarm, I think, yes. Locking onto the maneuver node, and in 2 minutes time we will have a burn here, so I'm gonna time accelerate a bit more. 2 minutes, soon be only 1 minute here, and then we start to go down 4 times, 2 times, time acceleration, coming down 30 seconds, 20 seconds, we're gonna go down to real time now, 10 seconds out, all systems are nominal. And we're gonna execute the burn here in just a couple of seconds. And there we go, executing the planned maneuver like so. And we have ourselves an encounter here on 1.4 kilometers, and I have to say that's not so bad actually. I also realized now, since we have local control here, we wouldn't really have to wait to get a signal with mission control, but hey, better to be on the safe side, right? So time accelerate ourselves around here. And we're coming up on the node. So we're gonna see we are 27 kilometers apart and closing. We are in target mode, but I am not for any reason here allowed to open this one. I know why. Flight computer is on the kill rotation here. We're gonna turn that one off. It has also some kind of stability assist capabilities. So yeah, that's why. We're gonna point ourselves retrograde. And now we can take a look here again. Closest approach estimated to 1.4 kilometers. So we're gonna do some time acceleration until we get into maybe 2 kilometers or something, like so. 2.1, 2 kilometers, 2.9. It's going pretty fast here, so I'm actually gonna start to burn here. And stop. Turn ourselves into... Actually, we are closing in on the... it still, so I'm gonna go to stability assist only, and as before, turn ourselves into kind of somewhere like this, thrust a bit like so. We're down to 2 meters per second, maybe a bit slow, but yeah, hey, whatever. I'm gonna time accelerate a bit more here until these start to separate a bit too much, like that, I believe. Yes. Then we're gonna go, I don't know what to do really. I'm gonna go to retrograde here and kill all our relative velocity to the target. Like so. Then we're gonna turn towards the target. And once pointing towards the target, we're gonna do a bit of a small thrust here. Like so. Get ourselves up to maybe 2 or 3, something like that. Once again, turn retrograde. And we're gonna do the time acceleration here in a bit. Closing in on the Comsat 1 with our third and last satellite. Here we are. I have no idea where that... Ooh, shit, that was close. That went like... yeah. So, retrograde, please. Hurry up. Take some RCS to help us. Then we're gonna switch over to target mode as soon as this is done. Like so, target mode. And back up to 4. Turn retrograde once more. So hard to see where that one was coming from, so I almost crashed into it. I hope I don't. I hope I didn't make any weird things to the orbit of the Comsat 1. Hopefully I didn't do anything. gonna definitely start to slow ourselves down here to 1.6 at the moment. Gonna take a quick look here. Doesn't seem like there is a problem in orbit with any of the satellites, so that's good. I didn't expect to come in so straight on. And that was really a mistake from my side here. We have communication with the mission control, so hopefully we can do two things at once here. Once we are close enough to ComSat 1. What I'm gonna do is actually stop about here, like so. 0 meters per second to target, and I'm gonna disconnect the ComSat. Rename the vessel to ComSat 3, put it as a relay icon, and then switch back to this one here. Turn ourselves towards the planet. Apparently, I have no idea. Oh, something broke. One solar panel broke. I have no idea why that one decided to turn. No idea whatsoever why that had to turn. That's just, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Why did it do like that? Okay, I believe we can do with 3 solar panels. If not, then we would probably, or we could send something up here to repair it in the future. At least, hopefully, we can do that. I'm gonna leave it like that for now and switch back to this one. Thrust a bit down, then we're going into retrograde. And thrust our way down to see here, orbital information please. Go down to 35 kilometers once again on the periapsis here, so somewhere around here. Let's see, that's the one. Go into map view, and we're gonna go the ComSat lander here. See if I can actually switch to it. Lander is, oh, that's the one that we're on right now actually. No, I'm gonna press escape here and go to tracking station. Gonna select ComSat 3 and fly that one. Since we already have communications with the mission control, I think we can do this maneuver before actually having to take care of our lander area, or at least we can plan this maneuver here. I hope nothing else got damaged in the process here. Hopefully not. What I'm gonna do is take one of these and point at ComSat 2. Take the other one and point at ComSat 1. We're gonna activate both of these antennas there. Close this one. Now we should have, yes, this one has connection, and we can't probably see it, but it is pointing towards ComSat 1 as well. So now what we're gonna do, where is ComSat 1 for that matter? ComSat 1 is, oh, it's up there, so no problem. We're gonna go into MechJeb, the maneuver planner, and get ourselves a, let's see here, where is it? The resonant orbit, and we're gonna put this one on 4/3. So So we're gonna lift ourselves a bit, which makes it that when we come around to this point again, the next orbit around, we will have we will be, what will we be? We will be 60 degrees on the orbit here, behind the ComSat 1. So we will be over here. So I'm gonna create the node like that. Then I'm gonna go up to the flight computer and go into execute mode here. No, I'm not. Actually gonna, this thing here I'm gonna execute right away. So that was wrong by me again. Maneuver planner once more, 4/3, but at a fixed time, which is about 120 seconds from now. Create node. Now that looks a lot better. Go into here, take a look. Yes, execute that one. And we're turning ourselves around. And we're gonna execute the planned maneuver here in just a little minute. Realized there in last second that I also had to enable the engines, or else, well, not much would have happened. So we're speeding ourselves up now, raising our apoapsis a little bit. And when we come around here the next time, as I said, we will be in a we'll be 60 degrees behind the ComSat 1. Burn is complete. It is actually not complete. Something has something stopped there, and I think we actually need a couple of more seconds of burn time here. I'm actually gonna burn a bit myself, and like so. I have no idea if that's right or not, but that's what I'm gonna do anyway, because it died about 10 meters per second slow here. Probably the target thing there doing weird shit with us once more. I have to remember to unclick this target mode as soon as I'm done here. Hopefully this will not fuck with me. Sorry for the language there anyway. No, that's not the one. I want to unset this target, please. What we're gonna do anyway is that I want to do a circularization at the periapsis when we come back down there. So I'm gonna go into MechJib, maneuver planner, circularize at the next periapsis, create the node like so, go into the flight computer, and we're in orbit mode. We should be in orbit mode, so hopefully this will work. And then we're going to execute the node, and that will happen in 1 hour and 50 minutes. So we could actually go to the tracking station and jump back to our lander here and bring it back down to the planet Kerbin. I'm going to fly that one. And here we are. Gonna take a look at the map and see where our little satellites are in this orbit. The ComSat 3 will go up over here, so I'm gonna just do some time acceleration here, let myself fall down towards the planet, and yeah, we will have plenty of time here to spare. Seems like we are hitting the atmosphere. Yes, we are. I'm gonna eject here, like so. And then I'm gonna turn myself into retrograde mode. Disable and do some time warping here. I know that time warping could be dangerous, but not for our brave little Kerbin people here, the Jebediah and Valentina. Slowing ourselves down just a tiny bit here to 2 times time acceleration once while we're descending down through the atmosphere at great speeds here. Once the heat effects are gone, I can safely go up to 4 times time acceleration once more. Like so, we can do 4 times time acceleration and drop ourselves down here. And I'm gonna do kind of like a suicide send here. I'm just gonna go with 4 times time acceleration until maybe 2,000 kilometers, or not 2,000, but 2 kilometers above the terrain, which we can see here. And then I'm gonna open the parachutes. So now slow ourselves down, open the parachutes like that, and they will deploy at about 1,000 meters here. And once they do, here we're gonna wait until maybe 400 meters or something. Actually, we could wait until the speed here stabilizes like now. Then we can jettison the heat shield. Goodbye. And 4 times time acceleration once more. Keep a look at the altitude terrain here, and once we're down to about 100 here, we can go back to normal speed like so, and wait for impact. Really, gonna take a look what's happening out here as well. Everything looks good and great, so we're gonna just leave it like that for now. We have touchdown. And wrong key, do not press escape. We're gonna recover the vessel instead. And here Jebediah and Valentina are back on the planet Kerbin. They are home safe, and we can go to the tracking station. In the tracking station, we're gonna jump over to Comsat 3 on its way around the planet here. Hopefully this is a successful mission. So we're gonna open up the flight computer once more and look inside of it, and we can see we have a bit of a time left here. So we're just gonna do time acceleration, and we will come in here. We'll slow ourselves down here. Like so. Turning ourselves onto the maneuver node. We're gonna take a look here. Are we in kind of a triangle here? A sufficient triangle to have communications with all sides? I don't really think so. I don't know. We'll see when we get on to the target here. Raise the time acceleration once more, get back down. 30 seconds left until burn, and we are not in any weird target mode. No, we are not. We are in orbit mode. That is the only real explanation that I can get to the problems, that we actually are in some kind of weird target mode. Shouldn't be in target mode, we should be in orbit mode. And that is the only reason why these things doesn't work out as planned, really. We're burning, and hopefully we will burn for the complete duration here. So let's wait and see for that. And there we have it. We should be in a fairly complete circularized orbit here. 770 and 250 meters versus 769 kilometers and 838 meters. Yes, we are in a circular orbit around the planet here. The only thing we haven't done is deploying the satellites, I believe. Yes, no, they are actually deployed. So what seems to be the problem? We have electric charge, so we should have communications all the way around here, but it doesn't really seem that we do have communications. Why is that? That could be problematic, but this should well be working. Of course, I know what the problem is. This one is pointing one satellite in that direction, and this one, and it's pointing one satellite in that direction. These guys, they just point at each other, and that won't create a sufficient link here. So we're gonna jump over to ComSat 2. I'm gonna switch to ComSat 2, not set it as a target. Like so. And then we're gonna take another satellite here and put the target to ComSat 3 and activate that one, and guess what? We will have a link up here. Go to the map and we should have a link up between these two. That is ComSat 1 and ComSat 3. No, we don't get the link, and that might be the problem, that the planet is a bit in the way, because this one is actually too close to ComSat 1. It should be a little bit further back here, so that is something that I'll have to fix off camera here. But yeah, we're gonna jump over to ComSat 1, which not set as target. Please unset that. Switch to ComSat 1. We're gonna get that one's satellite pointing towards ComSat 3 as well, and we'll be on our way here. Let's see here. Activate, set target, ComSat 3. Take a look. Yes, we have sufficient communications with ComSat 3 here. So the only thing I have to do here now is slow it down a bit so it gets back here. Actually, I'm gonna raise its orbit a little bit to actually get it back here a tiny bit of the orbit, and then we'll have a perfect triangle here. But I think I'm gonna do that off camera. It has been a very long episode, this one, so yes, I'm definitely gonna do that off camera. But thank you for watching, and until next time, have a great day or weekend, whatever it will be. This is ThrustVector Gaming signing out.